Okay, got it. All right. All right, so since you guys seem like you can hear me, I'm going to pass it over to our principal, Mr. Aldridge, who's going to welcome us to tonight's webinar.
Good evening, everyone. I'm super excited to welcome everybody to the 21-22 school year. I am Trip Aldridge. I'm your principal here at Fort Dorchester High School. It has been one heck of a ride for the last year and a half, and we are excited to be back this year. And we're trying our best to make a go with normal, with caution, and bringing everybody back to school and trying to make the best of the situation while the pandemic is still raging. We are having this meeting tonight, and this is a first time we've done this in a while, and we wanted to bring everybody together and talk to you about some things that are going to be important. It's a huge step for our seniors to be going out into the world and leaving the nest here at Fort Dorchester. And we want to make sure that everybody is as prepared as they can be, that we can answer your questions, point you in the right direction, and get you primed and ready to take that next step, whether it be going into the workforce, the military, community college, college-bound students, or any number of other things. We want to know that our students have had an experience here at Fort Dorchester that prepares them to go out in the world and be productive members of our society. And so we're super proud of what we do, and part of that is making sure that our seniors and their families know where to go for help and what they need to get ready for that. I know that one of the things I always talk about when I get an audience with our Fort family here is being involved. And I will say, since this is a group of just seniors, I'll address the elephant in the room. Senioritis can be a real thing, and we know as educators here at the school that have been doing this for a while, that we need our students to continue to push. This isn't the end. While it seems like it's the end of an era of school, it's really just the beginning for our students. And it's not time to give up. It's not time to coast. We need our students to push through all the way to the end. And so working hard in your academics, and most importantly, as I said, getting involved. I say that being involved is the only way to be, and want our students to find what it is that they're passionate about, find other people that share those passions, find their group, their tribe, as it were, and get involved with that group and do something, because those are going to be the activities that make the lasting memories. Those are going to be the connections that really tell you what maybe you're destined for in life, and what you want to be doing, and what fulfills you. And so getting involved, finding those things, maybe you are a math nerd like Mr. Hamrick here, and you want to be a math person, or maybe you're a horseback rider, or maybe an athlete or a musician, or any number of other things. But find what that is, really push and finish that strong. Certainly don't walk away from that after the commitment you've made all these years, making it through school. Finish strong academically, finish strong in your extracurricular and co-curricular activities, and just find your group, what you're passionate about, and really make it your thing. And that can take you far and can make a connection for you in your next steps in life. So again, we're super happy. I wanted to get that little bit in, and I'm going to turn it back over to Ms. Carter and Mr. Hamrick, who will lead you through our discussion tonight and try to help answer all your questions.
Thank you, Mr. Aldridge. So for those of you guys that may not know Ms. Carter and myself, my name is Brent Hamrick. I'm an assistant principal here at the school, and I oversee all senior activities, events, graduation, that sort of thing. So I'll be working with the seniors closely all year long, and I'll let Ms. Carter tell you a little bit about what she does for your students.
Hi guys, I'm Ms. Carter. I am one of the senior counselors here, and so I work with pretty much a lot of seniors, and so just kind of touching base and making sure that we understand what's going to happen this year.
All right, so one of the first things I want us to just talk about is what we're going to cover tonight on the agenda, in case you're wondering what this meeting was about. We're going to cover some of the people that your seniors need to know around here at the school, some important dates that are coming out throughout the year. We're going to talk about the senior events and activities that we have planned for them. talk a little bit about attendance, yearbook, senior IGPs, and we're going to hit graduation pretty hard, make sure everybody's aware of what's coming down the pike. I know that it's only August, but you will not believe how fast May and June get here. It'll be here before you know it. So we're just going to go through here and show you some important information. This will all be recorded and available to view at a later time, and we'll also post the PowerPoint with it if you just want to go back and read. So first thing is some important people to know around the school. This is a list of our principals. If you look, Mr. Aldridge is our executive principal here at Fort Dorchester High School, and everybody listed below him is an assistant principal. You will notice that the two principals listed at the bottom, Miss Profit and Miss Jameson, they are italicized because they work with our freshman academy. So they really do not have much to do with the senior class, while as the others all have a discipline alpha range based on last name. So they'll be working with those students, and they're given alpha range for different issues that may arise throughout the school year. On the right side, you'll see a list of counselors that Ms. Carter will tell you about. Oops.
All right, it's very similar to how the principals operate. The counselors each have a alpha range as well. And so we work with 10th grade through 12th grade. And our alpha range goes from A all the way to the end of the alphabet. The only person that has a different alphabet would be Ms. McCall. She is our MTSS counselor. And so she has a specialized group of seniors that she will work with. But everyone else on our end, they will have a specific alpha. And so you should have received at least a notification or something from your counselor. You can also find those counselors on the schedule or through PowerSchool.
Thank you, Ms. Carter. So a lot of you guys may already have seen this information. I sent out a senior newsletter for semester 1 over the summertime. It was sent to all of our senior students' school email address, and also it went out to all the parents who had an email address registered in PowerSchool. So really brings me to an important point that, you know, even though if your kid's a senior and this is their last year, having up-to-date records in PowerSchool, whether it's a telephone, an email, whatever, is really helpful for us to be able to contact you and get important information out to you. So on the screen here, you'll see important events that are going to occur during semester 1. So first thing is actually coming up on the 31st of August. We're going to be having a virtual open house. Our hope is that with making our open house virtual this year, it might allow us to have a little bit more participation with the current concerns over COVID. So this will give us an opportunity to get information out to more people. And then in addition to that, you guys will see different senior events throughout the year. And each one of those has a little bit of an asterisk to it, just because while we do have these dates penciled in for the different senior events, we want to make sure that you guys know that those dates may have to be flexible based on the current environment. You'll see the ASVAB test coming up in September. Ms. Carter will spend more time talking about that, college planning night, and application day, FAFSA night, all those sort of counseling events, along with scholarship night. And then Thanksgiving break will be here November 24th through 26th. And then pay attention to December 9th through 15th. Those are our EOC exams. So while a lot of seniors will not necessarily be taking an EOC exam, we should be seeing first semester exams pretty soon after that. We don't have a concrete date for those as of yet, but they will likely take place pretty soon after that. December 20th through the 31st is our winter break. And that leads us into the new year and second semester. You'll see that we do have a date scheduled for prom on March 19th, and then spring break will be April 11th through 15th. And then for all those seniors that are taking AP classes, AP exams will be May 2nd through 13th. And then last you'll see May 13th through 19th is EOC exam. So that's really almost a placeholder for most seniors to just get an idea that senior exams should be taking place around there as well. And then we are going to have our senior awards night in late May. We'll have a date hammered out closer to that event. And then we have our big date, May 28th, our graduation at the North Charleston Coliseum. We will hold a graduation practice a couple of days prior to that on May 25th. Seniors will already be out of school at that point, so they should all be available to come up here and kind of do a little quick walkthrough and get everything they need to be ready for graduation day. As Mr. Aldridge already stated, senioritis, it can be real for some students. We want to make sure that all of our kids are really focused on what they need to do to be successful during their senior year. You know, one of the major benefits of making sure that a senior is attending all their classes is that they do have the ability to exempt their final exams for a given course if they have the necessary grades and proper attendance. So please remind your students that it is very important to be at school every day, that we want to finish strong and make sure that we're all able to get across that stage at graduation. All right. So next, just to quickly touch on the senior events and activities that we have. You may have noticed that when we did registration this year, there was an option for families to purchase senior spirit packages and senior activity and spirit packages. I want to briefly talk about the differences between those two. The senior spirit package was a $50 package that got seniors a short sleeve and long sleeve t-shirt that had, you know, class of 22 logos and designs on it that's specifically made for them. They're also going to get a class of 22 water bottle and a copy of the senior class photo once we take that. Now, the difference between that and the senior activity package is the senior activity package includes all of those items that I mentioned in the spirit package. So the long sleeve shirt, short sleeve shirt, the water bottle, and the senior photo, but it also gives tickets to the students for all of our senior events that we have throughout the school year. So that extra money goes for their entrance into those different events. Now, we will allow seniors to pay for events individually. So if they don't want to pay for all the ones that we have planned, that's okay. They can do it on a case-by-case basis. We will have predefined dates when those tickets will be on sale, and we will have to close those dates a good bit of time before the actual event. So we have the necessary funds allocated to purchase the items for the expected numbers of students participating. So when we do host these senior events, things like the senior breakfast, senior bingo, fall festival, senior picnic, and other things, we're going to make sure that we keep our kids safe. So we are going to be following COVID safety protocols during each event. You know, we'll make sure that we get the proper approval and we have the proper setup to make sure that everything that we do is safe for our kids. But we do want to make sure that our seniors have a great senior year and really feel like they are getting to experience what it's like to have that last year in high school and enjoy these last moments that they have with their friends before they go off to college or start their careers. All right, next, really briefly, we'll talk about the yearbook. Seniors should have gotten their senior portraits made over the summertime. However, if they have not done so yet, it's not too late. They do need to contact Prestige Portraits. You'll notice that I have the website listed on the screen here. So if your senior has not had their senior portraits made yet, they can still contact Prestige Portraits to have a session set up where they can get their senior portraits made. It's very important that they do this. That way they can have their senior portrait included in our yearbook and also our graduation slideshow for their big day on May 28th. We will be holding makeups here on campus in November. However, we strongly urge all of our seniors to get their portraits taken at Prestige, just because they have a professional photography studio set up with all the regalia that the kids would be wearing during that senior portrait. Yearbooks can be purchased in advance. They're $80 right now up until winter break. After winter break, that price will go up to accommodate for the late orders. So if you know you're going to get a yearbook, I would strongly urge you guys to go ahead and place that order. That was also included on the senior newsletter, and that will also be posted in the comments section of the video that gets posted along this slideshow tomorrow. All right, next I'm going to pass this over to Ms. Carter. She is going to walk you through some information regarding counseling initiatives for the senior class.
All right, guys, most of you are very familiar with IGPs. So just like any other year, we will have IGPs for seniors. And so just this week, if not last week, you received a link from your individual counselor to schedule the IGP. This year, like we did last year, you will go through Calendly, and you will be able to request a time to meet with your senior counselor. We do encourage parent participation. However, it works with your schedule. If you are unable to make it, but would still like to do a phone conference, those things can be worked out with those individual counselors. So, just to kind of recap what an IGP entails, you guys will do a name verification so we can make sure that your high school graduation requirements. So you can see that on your screen. As of right now, remember that you need to have your 4 credits of English, math, 3 credits of science, your 3 credits of social studies with those individual social studies classes, PE, foreign language, and then your 7 electives. So even though you need 24 credits to graduate, within those 24 credits, you need to make sure that we have the correct courses. We will also go over cords and awards. And then we will talk about post-secondary planning and how we get to that next part. So are we talking about going to a 4-year? Are we talking about going to TTC or the military? And what resources and things that we can provide you to begin? All right, so just to touch on this, once again, some of the stuff that I am going over will be repeated in your IGP, but this is just for you to have something in your face. So as far as graduation awards, there will be a diploma of distinction that we discussed during your IGP. The requirements are below, and so make sure that as you're going over your plans that nature, that you make sure that you are meeting all the criteria, the 4.0, the credits, the ACT, SAT scores, and all of those requirements. The other part is that you're going to see a distinguished honor graduate, and so those students are awarded after their full 4 years. So at the end, after we calculate the final grades, your GPA needs to fall in between those ranges for either distinguished honor graduates or honor graduates. And then there's the SC Academic Honor Awards. These students will receive a medal at graduation, and so depending on the requirements that you have met, depends on the color of your medal. All right, and so we have been harping on the diploma pathway seals of distinction since you guys were freshmen or since your freshmen stepped into the door. This is the first class to actually receive the seals of distinction. So this is something new from the state of South Carolina. And so once again, you will get this information during the IGP, but we're shaking up things a little bit this year, and so the pathways will be in direct correlation with a cord for graduation. So we're no longer giving cords simply for completing 4 credits of a foreign language or an art or anything of that nature. Our cords will be based on the diploma pathway seals of distinction. All right, so following that up, once again, these will be the cords for this upcoming school year. So just to repeat myself, we will not give cords just because you took 4 years of ROTC. We will not give cords just because you have 4 years of a foreign language. You must meet a GPA requirement. For these, you have to meet a testing requirement, and depending on what cord you will receive, there is a course level requirement. So for example, the honors diploma pathway seal of distinction, you will need to make sure that you're taking honors classes in order to receive that cord for graduation. So this is something that is brand new this year. Once again, so this is completely different than how it has been in the past years. And then we're also going to give you a cord for the ready to work. So this has been a tradition. We have done this for the past couple of years. And so depending on that score, and once again, that is also tied to kind of late out and early out and late in. And so you will get a cord for either earning a bronze, a silver, a gold, or a platinum. And for our students that are going into the military, meaning that you have talked to recruiter, work with recruiter, you have signed on that dotted line, you will get a cord for that as well. And then any of our students that have completed a pathway at the career school, you would get a cord for that class as well. All right, so speaking of testing, because a lot of what we are kind of getting ready to do will require you to test. So if we do have plans to go into the military, we have 2 times to test, but the ASVAB is going to be that exam that you are going to want to take. So right now we have the date of September the 23rd. That will take place in our auditorium, and that will start at 9 o'clock in the morning. And so a week prior to this exam, we will make an announcement for any senior who is wanting to test for them to sign up, and then they will be called to the auditorium on the 23rd to test. Then we have our ready to work exam, and sometimes we interchange that with the WIN exam. That exam will take place or retake for seniors on October the 26th. And so that's going to be very important because in a couple slides down, we will talk about early out and late in. And so that is going to be directly related to the ready to work. And then we have the ACT. And so those are going to be various dates. You can always go to actstudent.org or just act.org, and you will be able to sign into your account and register for those exams, or just register, make an account and register for that exam. And the same is going to be for the SAT. That website is collegeboard.org. And then if any of our students are planning to go to Trident Technical College, they will need to take the AccuPlacer if they have a GPA under a 3.0. And so we will give that exam once a month here at Fort. You do have the option of taking that at Trident Technical College. The first time they would give it to you for free, and then you have to pay to take it afterwards. And so if you ever have a chance to go to the website, Fort's website, and then go under school counseling, you can see a tab for ACT, SAT, AccuPlacer, in the military, and all of those sites have test prep on them for you. All right, so now we get to the hot topic, which is early out. So this, the district has decided that making sure that your student is well prepared for the world is our top priority. And so we would like to make sure that you are kind of sharing in that same belief. And so we have tied the college and career component to an early out. So that is something that is new this year. So that was explained during IGPs last year. You've given that documentation. We've sent out several other pieces so you are fully aware. And so on that early out document that you received, you have to meet certain criteria. So you have to be a 12th grader, you have to have at least 2 courses per semester, and then if you are playing a sport for the spring, then you will of course need to have 4 classes for the whole first semester. A 2.0 GPA, transportation, and the big part that we kind of forget is that we need to make sure that we're meeting a college and career indicator. So that is something that is brand new. I understand that some of you guys are saying that my kid is great, my kid is working, they have enough credits, they don't need anything else to graduate. However, we still have to make sure that we are meeting that college and career indicator. And so I'll talk a little bit more on that next slide. And so just as a heads up, Students that wanted an early out for this first semester or late in had to submit their application their form last Friday. And then as we proceed into the second semester, January the 7th is going to be the last day that we will accept an early out form for this school year. All right, so as mentioned regarding the early out process, students must meet one college and career indicator. We're hoping that our students can meet both, or one for college, one for career. However, one will suffice for an early out requirement. And you can see on the left-hand side, those are going to be all the requirements for college ready. So the ACT, SAT score. You're also, if you take an advanced placement exam, that will work. Any IB exam that is an HL, or any dual enrollment with a C or higher will count. So please make sure that you are studying, that you use the test prep that we have on our website, or one that's going to possibly occur in the future, and take full advantage of that. A little bit easier is going to be the career side of it. And so as mentioned, you guys will take the ASVAB, which is one of the exams. If you look at bullet 3, that exam will occur on the 23rd. I do highly encourage students to take it just as a backup, just because that is one of the first exams, so it never hurts to kind of test multiple times. The other exam that you are going to take will be the Ready to Work exam, and so that's going to take place in October. Once again, you will get all of these dates during that IGP. And so students must earn a silver on that exam. For those students that are retaking the exam and you do not have a silver, but you have a bronze, you will only be required to complete the component that you did not do well in. So that score is generally a 4 or higher for that silver. And then any CTE requirements, such as you've gone to career school and you received a certificate, or if you've done any of our CTE programs and have completed our certificate coursework as well, will count as well. All right, so this is probably the one that we probably always get the questions about. So just as a reminder, and once again, we will talk about this during this IGP, the FAFSA opens on October 1. That is not related to any scholarships, but just thought that you may want to be reminded of this, or if this is your first time, so you are aware that it will occur or open on October 1. So please make sure that you are writing that down on your calendar. The second 2 points are scholarship searches and reporting your scholarships. So we will talk about scholarships in your IGP. We will also have a scholarship search or scholarship night where we're talking about your scholarships and how you need to make that your top priority and make sure that that is your full-time job. And so if you once again get a chance to go to the school counseling section of the website, there's a whole video that you can watch. There's some helpful resources and search engines that you can go on. The last piece of this, guys, is going to be probably the most important part to us here at Fort, and making sure that you are going to report your scholarships. And so we definitely for sure need all hands on deck. We will do our due diligence of making sure that we speak with your students, but when we send out that link to students and parents, please, guys, please make sure that you guys are reporting the scholarships that your students receive or will receive.
Okay, so speaking of scholarships, that kind of leads us into graduation. So we use Jostens as our supplier for graduation supplies, such as caps, gowns, invitations, and all of that sort of stuff. You can always go on their website, lowcountrygrad.com, that you can see here on the screen. Very important to get that done early. You know, Jostens will likely start setting things up for pickup in the early spring or for delivering early spring to your homes. You know, having those invitations for graduation are really important to get those out early. And kind of to piggyback on what Ms. Carter was saying about cords, and something that comes up every year regarding our caps and gowns is that When we do get to graduation, it is a tradition here at Fort Dorchester High School and really through all 3 high schools in DD2 that it is a very formal event, and we expect all of our students to be wearing the proper graduation regalia, and there's really no alterations or additions allowed to the cap and gowns. So that means no custom cords, no custom stoles. You can't put a design on your hat. It is a formal event for the entire senior class, and as you saw, it takes a lot of hard work to earn a cord. So we want to make sure that those students that put in the time that they put in for a club or for their academics, that they're being recognized appropriately, and we want to make sure that everybody is adhering to those guidelines. Speaking of graduation, one more time, that is going to be on May 28th. So go ahead and put it on the calendar. Make sure that you have that date memorized. We will have graduation 3 days prior to that on May 25th. So all of the procedures that go along with graduation are fresh in the students' minds, and they know exactly what to do on their big day. I'm going to go ahead and talk about this too. I know it's August, so this may seem really early, but another issue along with cap and gown regulations regarding the additions or any kind of customization is just student attire to wear under the cap and gown. This is a formal event, so we do ask that all of our female students to wear dress attire, which would include a dress, skirt, or pant with some sort of blouse ensemble. They do need to wear dress shoes. Flats are encouraged. We strongly recommend that female students do not wear those super high heels. It seems like almost every year there's a student that either falls from the stairs or slips because they're just not used to walking across the stage and down steps in such high shoes. So really encourage you guys not to do that. So unacceptable attire would include shirts, tank tops, shorts, bathing suits, that sort of thing. And for the gentlemen, we do require a button up and down shirt with a fold over collar, long pants, and shoes. We do require a tie to be worn underneath the cap and gown. We have been fortunate that we have had a lot of donations from our staff here where we have got lots of shirts and ties available for those that do not need them. But maybe going ahead and getting this message out into advance, they have plenty of time to coordinate what's going to look good with our dress blue or our blue gowns when we walk across the stage. So along with the unacceptable attire for females, you cannot wear a t-shirt, tank top, polos, shorts, or any kind of bathing suit under your cap and gown. All right, now when it comes time to who you should contact, if you ever have an issue with attendance, you'll want to contact our attendance secretary, Ms. Washington, here at FDHS. If there are issues with PowerSchool and trying to log in, you can contact Ms. Galligan. Senior packages, you'll contact student information, so you'll just call the front desk and ask for them. They'll be able to help you purchase that. I know there are some questions in the chat if those are still available. Absolutely, you can still get your senior packages here on campus. Just go to student information. They'll take check, cash, or card. In regards to fees, another important thing that comes up at graduation is making sure that all student obligations are fulfilled. So if a senior has a textbook out, if a student has, fees that they owe for band or for sports or overdue books or lost IDs, all of those obligations will need to be fulfilled before graduation. All those can be paid in student information at any time throughout the year. Do not wait to the last minute right before graduation to try to take care of everything. If your senior is having an issue with their laptop, their first contact should be our media specialist. They can call up to the school and reach out to our media specialist, Ms. Harley and Ms. Musselman. They can also email them directly, which we have put out instructions for our students to do so if they need help. We want to thank everybody for being a part of tonight's webinar. If you have any questions about anything that you saw on the slides this evening, please feel free to contact Ms. Carter for any counseling related questions. You can contact me, Mr. Hamrick, for any general questions about seniors, graduation, senior events, and activities. Hope everyone has a good night, and we look forward to seeing your students back here tomorrow. Thank you.